Welcome to meeting to order. We're going to begin with the land acknowledgement. University of Maine recognizes that it is located on Marsh Island on the homeland of the Platte Nation, where issues of water and territorial rights and encroachment upon sacred sites are ongoing. The Platte homeland is connected to the other Platte tribal nations, Passamaquoddy, the Mountain Sea, and Nicmac, through kinship, alliances, and diplomacy. University also recognizes that the Platte Nation and the other Wabanaki tribal nations are distinct, sovereign, legal, and political entities with their own powers of self-governance and self-determination. We move into the roll call.
Keegan Tripp,
Here.
Cynthia Shelmerdine,
Excuse.
Joshua Bone,
Here.
Dylan Lehman,
Here.
Jordan Thompson,
Here.
Nate Bang,
Here.
Jason Leclerc,
Excuse.
Zoe Stankovitz, here. Olivia Britton,
Excuse.
Ezra Erica,
Here.
Kyle Ricker,
Here.
Ray Vanderwood,
Here.
Ezekiel DeLorme,
Here.
Ryan St. Lawrence,
Excuse.
Joseph Elliott,
Here.
Riley St. Pierre,
Here.
Casper Cowan,
Here.
Ryer Chapin,
Excused.
Kai Whitehead,
Here.
Elena Dana, here. Guy Van Beek,
Excused.
Isabella Lombardi, here. Kayla Kearns, here. Christian Moore Gordon,
Here.
Jeremy Palomar, here. Zachary Zala. Ethan Pye, Hazel Sparks, here. Colleen Balat,
Here.
Taylor Stanford,
Excused.
Haley Inman, here. Marissa Schultz, here. Jonathan Parker. Lauren DeVoe,
Excused.
Kenzie Karpinski, here. Isabella Van Cook, here. Alex Emery,
Here.
Jackson Gamble,
Here.
Sharif Azad,
Here.
Lauren. He died. I'm so sorry. Okay.
Sorry. Yeah. Here.
Lori Sidelko, here. That's all.
All right, approval of the 10/28/2025 minutes in this agenda. Central to law.
I move to approve the 10/28/2025 minutes of this agenda.
Yeah.
That's the pleasure of the Senate. That is adopted. Moving on to general good and welfare. Any non-member may address the GSSS for not more than 5 minutes. Seeing none and seeing no new sandals, also appointments of resignations, we're now moving into club maintenance, so in preliminary recognition. Do we have a speaker from the United Federation of Fazorham? You may take the podium.
You can just tell us a little bit about your club.
Yeah, of course. So I'm applying for the preliminary recognition of my club. It is a Frazzleman, which is a sport that is played in 2 schools in the nation as of right now, one of which was the high school I went to. It's like a sport kind of like no other. It's a mix of ultimate frisbee, basketball. You use a soccer ball, but then there's like these big grids and 5-gallon buckets, and you have to bounce the ball into these 5-gallon buckets. It's complicated, but it's easy to pick up, and it's super fun. And it's a reason a lot of kids in my high school came to school every day, was just to play this game. And so me and my friend, who's the vice president, couldn't make it tonight, but we wanted to introduce this to you, Maine, because we know how fun it is. We know how cool it is for, it's some people can't find a game they like, and this could be the one, because it's kind of everyone's on an even playing field because no one's played forever. That's my proposal.
Do you have any questions for the speaker? Senator Paul.
How many members do you have?
Right now we have like 22 people that are have shown interest and are like in our group chat that have been playing.
Wasn't sure.
First of all, I didn't mean to laugh at your club. It was just
No,
very
it's
funny.
it's a
It seemed like it was a conglomerate of every sport I've ever heard. But that being said, are you is there even a potential that you could become a sports club? And are there like leagues for this?
That is kind of our goal right now. We figured we'd become a club first, just so we can kind of spread the word about it, create a little more buzz about it, and then eventually hopefully become like an intramural sport around here. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of national recognition for it, but that's kind of why I called it the United Federation of Frazzleham, because I was thinking UMaine's Frazzleham could be like the beginning of it spreading nationwide.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Central Sports.
So how would games work?
Right now we've been playing them on the mall. However, with the snow coming, we're trying to get approval to play in the rec center.
Table. Gibson. Oh, Sandra Elliott.
How many games have you played so far?
I think we played 4.
Vice President.
Two questions. How much space does it take to play, and how many people have you had showing up to your, I guess, play sessions?
So it's typically played on like a basketball court, like a full-size basketball court. It can be played smaller. It's like there are regulations, but because it's not like a official sport yet, it's kind of fluid how it can be played. Like outside, if there's not as many people, you can bring the goals closer and such. But a basketball court is typical. And the games have varied. Sometimes we've had like about 20 kids. Sometimes we've had like a couple less.
Sandra Carroll.
Can you give us like a little more information on how you play this game or like what
Yeah.
it actually looks like?
I have like an official rule sheet. I don't know if anyone wants that. I only have a couple of them. I have, I think, 5 copies. You guys,
Yeah, so
mind if I hand them out?
Sure.
You guys can pass it around if.
For the sake of time, we'll review them after this meeting.
Yeah.
Vice President.
You want to play that, it's gonna go for any Friday?
Yes, we are thinking that. So to fabricate the goals, it costs a little bit of money, and from this point on, I've used my own money. And then like just to get balls and stuff would be nice if we could have a little bit of funding. It's not gonna cost that much. I mean, and like further on, if like we end up doing fundraisers or asking for extra funding, like jerseys would be cool, or just like more stuff to make it feel like more like a real sport.
Any more questions from speaker? Seeing no questions, moving on to the discussion. Oh, sorry. Committee recommendation.
300 pass.
Senator Moore.
I move to accept the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Give me a second.
Second.
I say in a second, that is adopted. Moving into discussions. Debate. Seeing no debate, moving to voting, all in favor of the motion? All opposed? Seeing a clear majority, that has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Up next is the official cards club of the University of Maine.
Hello, my name is Christian. So the Cards Club, I'm actually surprised something like this didn't already exist. So basically, the main games are gonna be poker, blackjack. One of the other people starting with me has 2 other games that he really likes. But basically, as long as there's enough people that wanna play a game, we'll play any game that we use cards for. It's just for fun. We're gonna start it next Friday if it gets accepted. Pretty much it, but.
Are there any questions for the speaker? Senator Moore.
Have you had any people who have showed interest? I know you guys haven't gone.
Yeah, so for people that wanna be members,
Yes.
I had around 20 people that would wanna do it. But I think the setting would be a lot larger. I have flyers already made. So if it gets accepted, then I'm gonna start putting them up and everything. I think a lot of people are really interested in this.
Senator Elliott.
Is there betting involved?
No, no gambling. No, yeah, that's not allowed.
But
Where do you intend to host these events?
What's that?
Where do you intend to host the events? What venue?
Oh, in one of my math classes. It's in Berlin.
Like the classroom.
seeing no more questions, what is the committee's recommendation?
300 pass.
Senator Donald.
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Seeing as the pleasure of the Senate, that's been adopted. Moving into discussion. Debate. All those in favor of this motion? All opposed? Seeing a clear majority, that has passed. Moving on, the Community Association Classification Accessibility on Campus.
Hello, my name is Tiger Lake White and I'm the Vice President of Accessibility on Campus. Our club works to represent those with accessibility needs and creates a safe and collaborative space to address accessibility issues on campus. We are applying for rep board status and we intend to have our outreach coordinator, Nico, be the one to do that.
Have any questions for the speaker? President Tripp?
How have things been this semester so far?
Good, pretty quiet, just like kind of, we've been dealing kind of a lot more in the background with like this, like, applying for rep board status, applying for club status with you guys, but still pretty good. We meet online on Sundays. The top and lounge.
So there's more.
President Tripp, it says on the agenda, Community Association classification, is it?
Yeah, I think that's like the agenda item, not necessarily the action, so I think we're good, but it should say representative board.
Okay. Technically, they would be a community association, wouldn't they?
Is that what it is?
Because community associations are like raised under the student body that don't necessarily engage, like Wildstein and ISA, those are.
Okay, no, you're right. No, yeah, we just call them representatives. That's confusing, and I just confused you more, but I was wrong, what I just said, and what BP Thompson said was right.
More questions for the speaker? The Vice President.
What is the organization's plan in the future to make sure that this role is continually filled year after year?
What we haven't talked about, that's a good question. Yeah, right now it's really, one issue that we do run into with this club that does make it hard is that some of us are on disability, which we can't acquire jobs, and this is the paid position. So that is something that we are going to have to figure out how long-term, how we plan to deal with, but we have not figured that out yet.
Vice President.
You said that you guys have already identified, who your like Senate representative is going to be.
Yeah.
Are they here tonight?
They're not,
But they will be able to make the meeting.
I believe so, yes, they have said.
Any more questions for the speaker? Seeing no more questions, what's the committee's recommendation?
300 off pass.
Move to accept the committee's recommendation. Second.
That's the pleasure of the Senate, that has been adopted. Moving on to discussion. Debate. President Tripp.
So, kind of to that point, since it's a worthy point, I feel like the prerequisite to kind of, we have a lot of representative boards right now that are consistently struggling to fill their positions. But the fact that that representative board exists gives them that ability to have that kind of link to the Senate. So especially now that we have a rep for this year. Yes.
Yes.
I think that the infrastructure can be built behind it, and it would be more beneficial to do that by giving this a organization the experience of having that connection to this and what that looks like, so that they can really fully understand what that position looks like and then translate it into what is future proofing. Because worst case scenario, and it is a bad case scenario, and we hope this doesn't happen, especially because I'm very excited about this. No, that's this debate. I'm very excited about this coming into the Senate, and we've been working for this for a really long time, is that it goes vacant next year, much like, well, a few of them are. So I would say that that would alleviate my reservations to this, and I think that this is the step towards doing what we need to do.
Any other points for debate? See, no more points for debate, moving on to voting. All those in favor? All those opposed? Seeing a clear majority, that has been adopted. People just speaker, you are free to watch the meeting or you're free to go. It's your choice. Thank you. Moving on to No club reservations, so we're going to guess. So please,
Who is not able to make it.
okay. Since the guest speaker wasn't able to make it, moving on to executive reports, starting with the president.
All right, hi guys. I hope everybody's week has been good, I suppose. I know, I hope everybody had a good Halloween weekend and everybody was safe and had fun. It was good to see some of you out there. That was cool. Some housekeeping things first. I still have the 15th. There is another opportunity to volunteer with the president's house. That's 2 students at 9 a.m. at the president's house and then 2 students at 11:30 a.m. For the box. So if you guys are interested in that, let me know. I'm gonna keep plugging those when I can. Next, I just wanted to encourage everybody. I had some good conversations in between about the Trans Day of Remembrance, and I want to encourage everybody to go to that. I think this is a really important community event, and I realized that I hadn't said that yet, so I wanted to say that now. In the same vein, unfortunately, it's at the same time as my fraternity formal, but I want to encourage everybody to go to the senior gala as well, for those who can, including those who are not seniors. Support the senior class. Also, the esports arena will be playing this Friday for the annual Extra Life 24-hour live stream, which is when a bunch of student governors come in and we play a game for 2 hours just to fill up some time because it's a 24-hour live stream, like I already said. And they raise money for childhood cancer research, treatment, and other resources. And that will happen this Friday, 12 to 2 in the esports arena. In the past, I've limited it and tried to do a certain amount of people, but frankly, I think this year, if you can make it, show up. I think it would be fun. We're playing Mario Party, so there's a lot of players, and I know that I will have to step out at 1 and we'll have people rotate. So if you can make it, that would be really cool. And again, it's just playing Mario Party for 2 hours in the esports arena. Moving on to old business. I have a syllabus bank update. I currently have a working document with the Faculty Senate Academic Affairs Committee, and they have continued to review that, and they are kindly critiquing that draft. And we're having some tough but fair conversations. Compromises are being made, but so far all good ones, and a lot of it had to do with the fact that being a student, I didn't fully see it from the faculty side, and we're also including things that are really, I think, positive. So that's going well. I'll be attending GSG this Friday to start the same process with them, since this was the next available meeting since the other one that I wasn't able to make. And then we've come a long way with this one. We have so far to go still. But I think that we're in a better place than we've been, and I think by the end of the semester, we should have a draft proposal for the faculty senate. So big things. Moving on to provost candidate meetings. So myself and some of the executives alongside the graduate student government have been meeting with those provost candidate meetings. They've been going well. I've been tasked with moderating those conversations, and also I've been kind of showing them around campus and bringing them to different places. And so far, I've really enjoyed all the candidates. I encourage everybody who's been at those meetings to maybe say a few words in their report about that. But the work continues on that, and ours today was canceled because of unforeseen circumstances, but it is being rescheduled for tomorrow, and I'll send everybody a Gcal invite for that and then drop it in the chat if you guys can make it too. I wanted to update everybody about the work that we're doing in the background with Crossland Hall. We're continuing to speak with the student advocates on the issue, as well as connect with administrators. There's been the release of an info website, which was something that we asked for and are glad that we've gotten. And we'll be kind of continuing the conversation about how maybe those things can come a lot sooner next time. But I think that I'm happy with where we're going, and I will be meeting with the student leads, including Representative Emery, to talk about any information that is still missing so that we can get to the find that. And Dean Gifford has offered to help me do that and said that any information that we're still looking for, she would help get. So again, conversations I think are going in a good direction there. A lot of slow but steady work. Moving into new business, we had our first meeting with interim BPFA Boyden. It was kind of an expectation setting meeting. We talked about mentoring, transparency, and campus context. I think it went well. I'm going to leave the majority of these updates to VP Bohm unless I particularly want to address something, but these will be happening every 3 weeks. And again, I'll let him expand on that. And then I had my meeting, myself and Vice President Shelmerdine, who couldn't be here because she's having, she's okay, but she's not feeling very well right now. And I thought it went well. We talked mostly about communication, as I told you that we would. And I think that we talked a lot about kind of the disappointment we've had in the past about communication and where we can improve, not just in student life. And I talked about this with Advisor Sodelko and Dean Gifford earlier. We've made a lot of progress in some places, but there's still a lot of other places that communication hasn't been improved. So we were talking about that. I think that we had a lot of productive conversations about how information should flow and how we can do that better, and when to involve students in the kind of beginning of processes. And we are going to continue to meet about this issue, and it's also going to be something that we talk about in depth at our next senior administration meeting. And I also have the Presidential Administrative Excellence Advisory Committee, which is a mouthful, but that is basically directly deals with administrative things and lines of communication. So I think that we are also, again, not to sound like a broken record, in a place to make a lot of progress. That's the end of my report.
Does anyone have the vice president's report?
Yes, me too. Cynthia says she sent the land acknowledgement. Oh, no, right. Nothing to report that Keegan hasn't already touched on. However, the next Space Committee meeting is the 21st. I was also asked to be a student rep for the Alumni Association Awards Committee, which I'm excited to participate in. Day in my life should be posted later this week, and I'm working towards a video with Joel Farley on pedestrian safety. End of that report.
Vice President of Financial Affairs.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to start off with my traditional report. Starting projected unallocated figure is $169,000. It's $169,350.32. For return to unallocated, we have Microbiology Club with $2.21 and Dungeons and Dragons with $41.60. For transfers, Men's Lacrosse Club is transferring $500 from travel expenses into league fees. No budget lines added, no office budgets. And then for our consent agenda, we have Toyota for $450 for their red dress events. And then for more like an expansion report, it's more traditional or in the sense of the rest of the executives. I did meet with Jenny Boyden and and VP Shelmerdine and President Tripp. We just talked about expectations like President Tripp mentioned, but we also got a bit of a more understanding of the financial situation at the university, just to kind of set the pace and the tone for our meetings to go on forward. And I intend to kind of talk about the role in which the university sees students and student benefits, and how the way in which we spend funds may overlap, and how student government allocates our funds for the benefit of undergraduates versus how the university does. And then I also I've been on provost meetings. Those have also been very nice. I'm getting to hear lots of different opinions from all over the United States and different other institutions, how they approach research, how they approach education, all that. It's been very insightful. And then I have a meeting this Friday with the Presidential Budget Advisory Committee meeting. It's the first meeting, and I'll let you know what I can about how that goes in a report.
Vice President of Student Organizations.
So we have 3 clubs at SSC this week, including accessibility on campus, which came for report classification, community association technically. I've started sorting out the club lockers, but there's a few locks that I couldn't get into, so that'll take some more time. I'm talking sports clubs with President Tripp tomorrow to follow up on the conversation around the sports club rep board. I'm tabling at First Friday Bagels this Friday in the Wade Center, 8:30 to 10:30. So come get some free bagels from me and talk about student orgs. End of report.
Vice President of Student Entertainment.
Hey everyone, we had 184 tickets used at Black Bear Cinemas last week, and I want to apologize if I don't include it in my report. Sometimes he just doesn't give it to me, like the count, so I just have nothing to report because he didn't get it back to me, which is sometimes upsetting, but I can't report anything if I don't have anything. But more importantly, this Saturday, 11 to 5 at the Stewart Quad, there's the Fall Music Festival. I think we should all clap for that one. It's pretty cool. You guys should all come and tell all of your friends. It might rain, but that doesn't matter. Music still goes on, the show goes on. So it's going to be good. There's also free food for undergrad students. It's gonna be a great time, great music, great people. So please come and tell all of your friends. And yeah, that's really it. This week and last week, I've just been working on a lot of stuff to do with the concert. I've had a lot of hoops to jump through, which is tiring, but that's really it. End of report.
Vice President of Student Leadership.
Senators, please get your papers in. As of right now, I believe it's just Senator DeLorme and Senator Dana. So good job to you two, and everyone else, please get your papers in, or else there will not be enough seats. If there's any prospective senators in the audience, please come find me at the end of the meeting, and I can sign off on your observation. This week, SLI and SLC will be working on beginning advertising of scholarship. And or the scholarship application, and then as President Tripp said, I've sat in on a few of the provost candidate meetings, and they're all very nice. There's one candidate who's very focused on student mental health and has done a lot of work to support that, which I think is really cool. That's it. End of report.
Okay, moving on to the advice of student government.
No report.
Are there any questions for speakers? Seeing no questions, moving on to periodic reports, starting with faculty senate student representative. Can anyone have a report?
Review in the chat.
Okay. UMSG Maine Board of Trustees, student representative.
No report.
No report. Chair of the Fair Elections Practices Commission.
Like BPSL Bang said, your packets are due on Friday, so make sure you get them in. If you have any questions, reach out to anyone up here. We will direct you where you need to go. And work.
Student legal services, they're on. Okay. Representative to the Graduate Student Senate.
No report.
Or no town council liaison.
Right, last night we had lots of students from the university there to speak about Crossan Hall, which was very important. So the topic was seeing if Orono had any potential legal action they could take on the demolition. The board did not express interest in pursuing firing an attorney for that purpose, so I don't foresee that happening. And now it's on their radar, so if anything does come up in the future, they know already. Something else they talked about was trying to reduce the top speeders on Main Street, as well as improving the pedestrian crossing at Oak Street, which is near, which road company is it? No, it's Marsh Island Road Company. It's that, when you go through the two lights, yeah, down towards the bridge, they're trying to improve that crossing. So I figured that was a good step in the direction of increasing pedestrian safety, especially for students who do cross that bridge and do cross there. That's, I think that was relevant information. And even more relevant information, the Good Neighbor Committee is meeting November 13th at 4 p.m. So we finally have a date for that. That is.
City Council Division.
I went to my first meeting of the Old Town Council. There wasn't much discussed of relevance to UMaine students. The major topics discussed were a grant for a canine unit for the Old Town Police Department and discussions about the demolition of the and
Representative of Military and Veteran Student Affairs.
no report.
Director of Communications. Director of Technology. University of Maine Security Representative.
No report.
The Center for Undergraduate Research Liaison.
No report.
The Liberty Conference with Legals. Moving on to reports of standing committees, starting with policy and procedural.
I have a report. There are 3 policies going through today. They are committee descriptions again and 1 small policy change. So that should be pretty smooth sailing. Next week will not be smooth sailing. We have 2 big things going through. next week. One will be the governing document and the other is another thing that I've been working on for a while. If you're curious about either of those and want input, please come to policy and procedure on Friday at 2:00.
Order.
Next Tuesday is Veterans Day, so we don't have school.
That's true, so we'll have a meeting.
Not next week, the week after that.
So what's this? They might have sources before. That seems like it. Academic affairs? That's me. Okay, so next week on Wednesday, I'll be meeting with Dr. Maizuri. And there will be no academic affairs committee meeting this Friday because I'll be out of the state. So if anyone wants to be involved in academic affairs, I'll say something in the chat, react to the message, or just let me know, because the plan is to expand this, to try to get more students outside of Senate into academic affairs. So that's the plan. That's all I have my report. So anyone have any questions for the speakers? That's intro.
Can you include me on the Rosalie meeting?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
When is it?
Next Wednesday, let me make sure. Next Wednesday, yes.
3 p.m. Where?
Have any questions from any speakers? Seeing none, moving on to reports of special committee, starting with holistic health and wellness committee.
Hey everybody, short and sweet report today. The student services survey is live. I dropped that in the chat last week and I'm just waiting on the DOC to post it to the student body. I printed out some copies of the QR code and I'm going to be handing them out at student union life offices or student life offices in the union. I've already handed them out at Swell. This week we filmed a tour of the resources in the Swell office and I'm hoping that this is going to be the first video and it becomes a series of tours of student service spaces. Those clips have been sent to the DOC as well. He'll hopefully work his editing magic on that and that'll be posted soon. End of report.
Food and dining affairs.
No report.
Undergraduate student symposium. No report. Total involvement in the education committee.
Today was voting day, so I hope you all were able to get out and vote. If not, there is a 5-minute recess and they are open until 8 over at the CCA. And I'm sure we would all be okay if you're a little bit late to go do your civic duty, so that is okay, go vote. Also, in terms of the website, we're almost done. The only issue that I've ran into is a lot fewer professors than Professor Brewer and I thought would jump on to help with that. So he's gonna do another push, but we're gonna have to now write the part that they were gonna write. So that's gonna take a bit longer than we had expected, but otherwise everything is going pretty smooth. End of report.
Does anyone have any questions for the speakers? Seeing none, moving on to representative reports, starting with the Disability Council. Okay. And hello.
No, I have that. Hellenic is voting on the bylaws at tomorrow's joint meeting with IFC. We're also jointly hosting a food drive from November 10th to 21st. Any donations can be dropped off in the Office of Fraternity and Sorority Life.
Student Athletic Advisory Council. Senior Class Council.
Hi everyone, so our gala is this Saturday from 8 to 11 p.m. in Buchanan. So we're featuring a cash bar, food, music, and just a chance to get dressed up nice and go have fun with your peers. If you could help out the senior class council, we really appreciate you sharing our Instagram posts about the gala and encouraging those around you to attend, even if you yourself can't attend. So the event is open to all the Maine students and ticket purchasing information can be found in the email that was sent out to the senior class or by scanning QR codes from the QR codes that have been posted around campus. And we also have 186 days left until graduation. Report.
Sustainability Environmental Action Division.
No report.
Are there any questions for any speakers? Seeing none, moving on to community association reports, starting with Student Heritage Alliance Council.
The Student Heritage Alliance Council had a really successful meeting last Thursday at Crossland. Spanish Club, they actually just learned a really fun dance called El Payaso de Rodeo. I saw like a demonstration of this afternoon. It was a lot of fun. French Club, they had a relaxing movie night last night. The Japanese Club, at their last meeting, they played card games and they are actively planning Culture Fest, which is this upcoming Saturday, which I'll talk about more at the end. The German Club, they actually met yesterday in Crossland Hall and hosted, German transfer students, alongside, other, international students. And, their advisor, Gudrun made, Käsespätzle and Apfelkuchen, and, they were both very delicious. For all, we had a very big meal, at our last meeting, and, we enjoyed, Quebecois and French films, alongside, French faculty and, community members, as well as students, many of which who didn't know French. It was a very warm environment, and, we all had a very good time. Student Heritage and Lands Council, we're actively planning out, the Friends and Family Feast, which is November 20th. And we're very close to finishing up with the food for this. It's been difficult, but I'm meeting with Anila of OCC to finish this up. So we'll have food ordered by the end of this week, and it will be a lot of fun. I also wanted to let you guys know about the Culture Fest. ISA is putting on a great event this Saturday from 11 o'clock to 3 o'clock. And it's really a great time for everybody to come together, enjoy some food from all sorts of different cultures, and also see like a really fun dance fest. The past few years that I've gone, it's been one of the highlights of my year. So I highly recommend that you guys swing by there, at least for just a little bit. As for Crossland Hall, thank you, Senator Elliott, for giving your update. We had a lot of students come yesterday. I wasn't sure how it would go, but the outpour that all the students and faculty and community members who came was very touching. And it seemed to move a few counselors in particular who expressed interest in broadening communication between the Orono Town Council and the University of Maine administration, which I thought was very proactive. With this process, it's been very difficult this semester. I'm not one that likes conflict. And so I'm really glad to be surrounded by so many people who are very supportive of this and have recognized the importance. I think that UMSG, what you guys are doing, not just for Crossland, but for all the students here at UMaine, I want to thank you for doing what you're doing. I think you guys do a great job of representing, and it's been a pleasure working with you all. So I look forward to finishing out the semester strong. So thank you all. End of report.
Sorry. I wanted to remind everyone about two of our really great events that are coming up in the next couple of weeks. First is Gay Thanksgiving, which is on November 15th at 7 p.m. in this room. This event is intended for those who may not have stable homes to go to for the holidays, but it is open to everyone. And as I mentioned last week, offering you all free home cooked food. I promise I'm a really good cook. The second event is the Transgender Day of Remembrance Candlelight Vigil, which is on November 20th at 7 p.m. on Sculpture Library steps. And I cannot express enough how important it is for people to come by and show support for this event. I wanted to end with a note about allyship, which is not targeted. It's just something I've been talking about a lot this week. And I think it applies well to these two events. It's incredibly important to be a good ally, and part of that means showing up when you can. I wouldn't be inviting you guys to these events if your attendance would be inappropriate. And then what I've been saying a lot is for every single person that needs support, someone needs to show up to support them. And so it is important when you have that time to, be there and be that person.
International Student Association. Yeah, so we are having the biggest event of the semester, the National Festival, and it's a collection of few activities. We have fashion show, we also have exhibits, and we have country featuring. We also have some dancing festival. This will be from 11 to 3 on Saturday, coming Saturday. Everyone is encouraged and I expect everyone to come and join us for this event. This is also an opportunity for I say to fundraise for coffee and personal stuff. Basically, we usually I haven't had this because so far people are signing up for the exhibition, for the food exhibition, and also for the fashion exhibition. But there will be at least more than 15 countries showcasing their fashion, and also at least more than 15 countries showcasing their food. And also for the ISA will also be taking some parts over there and selling snacks and water and stuff. So everyone is invited and I have to see as many of you as possible. And also for the winners, there will be some prizes and stuff that we have arranged and available. Are there any questions from you?
I move to suspend the rules and skip the 5-minute recess.
Second.
Let's see a second, that goes into stuffing. Hey. Send us books.
It is 6:45 right now. There are 3 policies that are going to go through, and then we are done. There's nothing else on the agenda. We do not need a recess today.
Everyone, for the debate. See none, all of the recess. All of those, all of those in favor? Seeing the majority, the 5-minute recess has now been skipped. Moving on to the consent agenda. All right, on the consent agenda. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can the consent agenda, so that is wrong. I'm not good for the consent agenda.
Second.
That's the time consent. That's adopted. Then we have a new business, starting with 46 SPOL 140 11 Kansas Reestablishment Revitalization Act.
Do you want to present or are you good?
No, it's fine. I can make the important part follow.
Everybody can use, pull it up on their screens.
Okay. This is an establishment of a new committee. So CANS was a rep board last year. It has dissolved this year, but we still want to maintain the contact with those students. So we decided to make it a committee in UMSG instead of a rep board.
Israel really covers it, but I will say, I wanna highlight what we say the committee should be responsible for. And also that the name of this committee would be the Non-Traditional Commuter and Transfer Students Committee. They will be responsible for aggregating and advocating for the needs and concerns of transfer, commuter, and non-traditional students, meeting with the faculty responsible for overseeing commuter and non-traditional student programs, maintain support for First Friday Bagels as a commuter and non-traditional student focused program, ensure continued contact with the committee's target population through tabling, surveys, and other outreach efforts by discretion of the chair. Create a space for the targeted student population to exchange information, create connections with other commuters and non-traditional students, and anything else by discretion of the chair.
I'd like to point out that we added transfer students to the title. That was not originally part of the red board title. But transfer students was underneath non-traditional, but non-traditional is not very specific, and people usually think of military veterans or whatever else you think of when you think of that. And it's not typically transfer students, so we wanted to explicitly write them in there so they felt more included and they felt like this was a space meant for them, which it is.
Are there any questions for the speaker? What is the recognition committee?
500 ought to pass.
So you want?
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
If that. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, since I got a second, that has been adopted, plus if it was adopted. moving into discussion. Debate, President Tripp.
I want to just like hone in a little bit on the transfer student part. I had a lovely meeting with Senator Schultz, and from my understanding, I forget his name, sorry, what was his name? Ralph. And she brought up some pretty good points about how transfer students specifically have a different time kind of acclimating to campus. And it started to kind of make me think about all the ways that actually the transfer student experience is pretty different, especially immediately, and how we could probably do a lot of good in terms of putting some extra focus on that and maybe some resources to assist with those things. So I'm really excited about that. And I think that this will actually expand CANS in a way that currently we're kind of balancing it between the commuter students and non-traditional, and we're not getting a lot of engagement. I think this would be a new pocket of folks that we could really engage. I don't know why I'm losing my voice. Did you hear me progressively lose my voice?
Points for debate. Seeing no one wants to debate, moving to voting. All those in favor of this? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing clear majority, that has not passed. Resolution 26S, POL 141, 20.5, establishment of the services committee, as the speaker this time.
Right, so both of our services chair, both the past and the present, are not here, so I will be presenting this by myself tonight. That is okay. So services committee, a new committee description, a little bit of background on the services committee is it didn't have much of a direction last year, and then our current president, VP Shellerine, took it and attached a lot of new outlets to and ways to work with faculty to it. And so we rewrote the committee description to represent that better. Okay, so we wrote, work to actively survey student opinions of accessibility and services related issues on campus through occasional surveying, tabling, and events. Meet regularly and maintain a working relationship between UMaine's accessibility services and UMSG Inc. Relate student opinion, concern, and all other relevant information to the UMaine faculty, UMaine Space Committee, and executive decision makers. Work to address any concerns or issues of the student body concerning student accessibility and public utilities brought to the attention of the committee. Assist in educating the student body about important updates, feedbacks, opportunities, and other information deemed necessary by the chair or general student senate. Oversee all proposal intake forms. And then there's a subsection in that. And all intake forms must be voted on by the general student senate for submission to the University of Maine. Write and submit all proposals for the annual call and any other tasks directed by the general student senate. So there are a couple of points that might be a little bit confusing. The first one would be oversee all proposal intake forms. That VP Shelmerdine did a presentation on this at the beginning of the year. So I don't know if anybody, hopefully you guys remember this, but she did a whole presentation on how we can submit requests to get things fixed on campus. And so the proposal intake forms are what those requests would be. So with the speed bumps, that was a proposal intake form. So she submitted that to the university, and then they used their funding to get speed bumps on campus. So those are proposal intake forms, and all of those will be going through the general student senate, so everybody will get to vote on them regardless if they go to the services committee or not, because our name is attached to it, so everybody should get a say in that. And then submit and write all proposals for the annual call. Same thing as proposal intake forms, but it is annually, it's once a year, it's in the spring, and it's a lot bigger of a thing. You can make bigger requests, higher budget for those, and so the services committee will be in charge of writing all of those. Those will also go through the Senate. And then there is one thing we amended on this resolution. We originally had the Comfort Plus program on this, and the committee decided that instead of writing it in the bylaws, it would be an ongoing project by the committee. And it would be maintained through the committee's binder and passed down from chair to chair and committee to committee instead of writing it in the bylaws. that is my long-winded spiel on this resolution.
Are there any questions from the speaker? No questions, what is the committee's recommendation?
302 opt pass as amended.
Senator Moore,
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second.
even second, that's the Senate's recommendation. As adopted. Any discussion on this motion? Any debate? Debate. All those in favor of this motion? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing the majority, that is adopted. But next is 46S EOL 142.11.555. Amend the San Diego GPA requirement. Is the speaker on the side?
The requirement to be a senator has been 2.0 for as long as I've been here, probably earlier than that. That's what it says on the packet, and that's what it says in the standing rules. This is just amending the FPC guidelines to match. This is not lowering any requirements that were there originally. Any questions?
The actual resolution is to amend the FPC guidelines to read, instead of 2.5 requirement for students, it is lowered to a 2.0 to match all the other governing documents.
For context, execs to apply or to run is 2.5.
Senator Elliott.
Do we know when the GPA requirement was changed, Commission?
It was never changed. It was written incorrectly the first time.
It has been changed
It has been changed.
bunches of times.
It was not changed all the way across the board.
It was never changed while I've been here, and I think I've been here the longest, so I don't know.
I've been here for 26 years.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying in my time, so you're gonna have to ask Lauren.
Okay. A bunch of times. It's been a constant up and down.
Well,
The calendar of elections and the GPA are the things that change all the time.
This is towards the PSL bank, so it's for senators, not for executives, because it says result. The minimum should be 2.0. If for eligible.
But don't say executive election.
I was just wondering, is that, so wait, so you were saying.
Point
Why does that say executive election?
It's from the Senate election section, but let me double check.
Point of privilege.
Yes, sorry.
The FEPC guidelines does say executive elections and it will be changed when them fall. They are not written good. I don't know who wrote them.
So what I would do is that,
Do
yeah.
say you can amend it if you want, but it will be amended eventually, but if, yeah.
That's true.
I would motion to just make that read Senate election, because you can just do it now anyway, and then. Is that the only question? Because if it says that, then yeah, so there's a reason why it's the only document I have not touched, and it's because it's the worst document.
But to add on to Senator Long's question, if the senator please makes that amendment, that will go under the senator election section of the FPC guidelines, not the executive election section.
Any other questions for the speakers? Seeing no more questions, what is the recommendation?
500 ought to pass.
I move to approve the committee's recommendation.
Second, that's been adopted. Any discussion? Senator Sparks.
Never mind.
Any discussion? Any debate?
Wait, never mind.
Senator Sparks.
Okay, so I pulled up the FEPC guidelines. It says executive elections for both senator elections and executive elections. So this is actually the right part of the document. It's just weird. So there is not a section that is needed, there is not a motion that needs to be changed. It just says section executive election. For whatever reason, whoever wrote it decided to do that.
That's true.
It's true, it doesn't need a motion, and you really don't have to do it, and you're right, and I mean, that's what I figured. But you could just do it now if you really wanted to, and then if we're gonna be nitpicky, I would also amend the title, since they're real now, to say uniform the senator GPA requirement, because amend is it is misleading.
Any other motions for debate? This will also be when you would do the yes or not. Okay, so the one.
This is a question, I guess towards, Senator Sparks, the resolution says Article 2, Section 3, which is not Senate election, so I think that it's just standard elections. It should be Article 3, Section 3. Okay, I'm just somewhere.
Okay, so the executive sessions is Article 4. Not 2 in the first place.
So the misprint was that you put 2 instead of 3. No, it looks like you copied that, huh? It should be Article 3. But it looks like you didn't type that out, did you, when you wrote it? Who wrote this? You. Says it now.
You know what, let's just say that I did not mess up, because that's easier than figuring this out. So just to recap, I would highly recommend that Senator, make the amendment to change the word amend to, what is the word you used?
Uniform.
Uniform, to change the second whereas and the, resolve to say, oh, no, not the second whereas, sorry, just the resolve to say Article 3, Section 3. And then to change the resolve to say senator election instead of executive election.
Senator Cohen.
I motion to amend the title to say unify rather than amend, as well as the resolve section rather than saying Article 2, Article 3, and then instead of saying an executive election and the last line of the resolve section for a Senate election.
And cough, cough, I think the senator meant to say uniform and not unify.
Okay.
Is there a second? Alright, so a second. Any discussion on this amendment? Debate. All those in favor of this amendment? All those opposed to this amendment? All those abstaining? Okay, this amendment has not passed. Now, go back to the full motion as a whole. There's still on debate, or as a debate. Seeing a debate, all those in favor of the resolution as a whole? All those opposed? All those abstaining? Seeing a clear majority, that has not passed. Seeing no main motions for executive session, we're moving on to special orders and announcements. Any member of the UMSG Inc. may address the GSS in not more than 5 minutes. Senator Cowan.
Okay, and a couple things. So we're not gonna have Senate next week, so you're gonna miss my very last ever announcement about a home football game. You guys should definitely go. It's going to be next weekend. I believe it's the 15th or whatever that Saturday is. You should totally go. If you haven't been to a football game before, if you've never seen the marching band perform, this is just like self promo. You should go because it's my last marching band thing ever for real this time. There are a lot of really cool students who perform in this band and in the performance groups. They would really love your support, especially on the last game. It's gonna be cold out there and the uniforms aren't very cool.
Everybody should go to Polypro this week. The resolution that Senator Sparks alluded to is one that I'm also working on. And I would like all the senator input I can get so we can have it passed through the right way the first time.
Yeah, depending on whether or not to like lob this out into Senate or not, but the resolution that we've been talking about is raising the executive's wages. So if you're particularly opinionated on that, please come to Polypro so we can hash that out before. Well,
I think
2 p.m. on Fridays.
I think that should have been in your report.
Wow.
It should remain in your report moving forward. Just saying. And I'm speaking out of turn.
What, remain out of English?
Yeah, we should be talking publicly about that if we're talking about raising executive election wages. That's all.
Any other special orders and announcements? Senator Cohen.
I just wanted to plug the History Club is doing a trivia night on the 19th, and we only have, that Tuesday before, because we're not doing Senate next week, but I have a flyer, so if anybody wants to sign up, or just go on the campus groups, because I've been working to try to figure out campus groups, because I hate it. But I'm finally doing it, so it's on there too, but if you are planning on coming, I'd like to get a count on that. You don't have to be a history major to answer these questions. I'm not gonna put something crazy on there like, what year was Nefertiti born? It's not gonna be like that, all right? It's gonna be something like, it's gonna be, I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm working on questions now, so. I would really appreciate it. Okay, we're trying to get around 30 people.
I'm certainly feeling the burnout. I'm certainly feeling the, we're at that point in the semester where everything's kind of a full speed sprint to the end. We don't have Senate next week, and I know a lot of the work currently in student government has been a lot of hard work and also a lot of emotional work. So be sure within the next few weeks, if you're not already, to take care of yourself and take some time to kind of recenter and make sure that we're all finishing strong, because it's certainly something that I forget to do. And I wanted to make sure that I said that.
Vice President. I forgot to say this in my report, but it's also 7:05, so you guys can stick around a little and please do me a big favor. The member of the custodial staff that would clean the offices has retired a few weeks ago. And Pam just found out, so we're sending a card around. Everyone please wish him well.
Are you talking about Rod?
Yes.
He actually retired like a month and a half ago.
That's my bad. Please sign the card. Thank you.
I thought he did, yeah.
Yeah, so we had a little party for him in here actually, yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah, so he's been on the
Don't need to pass the
advisory representative at the moment, more coming. It's a big time at UMaine for women's sports right now. Our field hockey and soccer team advanced to, I believe, the semifinals of conferences, and our women's cross country team just won their first ever conference championship, so that's pretty cool.
Special rules and methods.
Yeah, sorry about that. I can't stress enough, please come to Culture Fest. This is a big fundraising opportunity. I also should have said this in my report. It's a massive fundraiser for all the student cultural clubs. We're working very closely with ISA to make sure this event is the biggest that it can be. So please show up, show these clubs love. And it's gonna be a good time. And trivia night too. All these events are a lot of fun. I'm not.
Yeah. And Balance is going too, so you guys should go. Yeah. Even though nobody wants it.
For after Senator this week, Ty Orchid, question mark?
No.
No. Our best.
Any more special rules and announcements?
Culture Fest, SEC Fall Music Festival, 11 to 5, Saturday. Grab some Jersey Mike's and maybe some food from around the world.
We did both.
Any more special rules and announcements?
Seeing none, moving on to final roll call.
Keegan Tripp,
Here.
Joshua Bell,
Here.
Dylan Lehman, Jordan Thompson.
Here.
Nate Sarah,
Here.
Dylan Stankovich, here, Olivia Britt. Edward Erica. Kyle Ritter, Greg Everwood.
Here.
Ryan St. Lawrence.
Yeah, everybody, you have them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joseph Elliott, here. Brad St. Pierre.
Here.
Pastor.
Here.
Hi Whitehead,
Here.
Elena Dana, here, Isabel Montgomery, here, Kayla Carnes, here, Christian Morgor. Jeremy Palomar.
Here.
Ethan Crowdy.
Here.
Hazel Sparks. Here. Alan Villette.
Here.
Haley Inman. Here. Rachel Schultz. Here. Nancy Chapmanski. Here. Isabella. Baker. Here. Alex Emery.
Here.
Jackson Campbell. Here. Sherry Fidel.
Here.
Lori Sedaka. Here.
Motion to adjourn, send it to one.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.